can see massive future for anyone who enters optometry, because everyone's getting older, they all will need eye care. And all our young people are faced with continuous close focus tasks, which we now know from research will help drive myopia. So there's a worldwide epidemic of myopia or short-sightedness. So whether you're young, you're going to need glasses and eye care, and whether you're old, you're going to need glasses and eye care. There will be disease processes that will be becoming more evident as we're getting older as well. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity, and then it comes down to how do you set yourself up. There'll always be opportunity for optometrists to set up on a corner in their own hometown and make $1. It's going to be harder to do that. There'll be more and more corporate optometry. There'll be more need for support. My thoughts are that, you know, the businesses like my company will be a place a lot of optometrists may like to head, because you'll practice the way you want to practice, yet you'll have some support behind you, which I think is the way of the future.
The future of optometry in Australia, I think, is really exciting. There have been a lot of changes in optometry, even since I graduated, which is 5 years ago now. Been a lot of changes. But the way I see the profession evolving is that it is getting more involved in the healthcare of the eyes, and that's been a trend over the last, over decades really, so it's a generational shift. The same thing is happening in just about every health profession. If you look at all the allied health professions, but also look at the specialties, even the specialties such as ophthalmology are becoming more subspecialised. There are many ophthalmologists who will spend a lot of time doing one type of thing. They'll do everything, but they'll spend a lot of time particularly on one aspect of that. And I think optometry will become more and more like that too, to some degree. You know, where in so much as there are optometrists who spend a lot of time on low vision, or a lot of time on binocular vision or behavioural optometry, is becoming more and more of a specialty, and contact lens practice is more and more of a specialty. And because these specialties are getting more complex, we're understanding more about behavioural vision, more about low vision, more about contact lens practice. It's becoming harder to know all about every one of those things until you've been an optometrist for decades. So I think it will become more and more of a, go and see Joe, he's the contact lens man, go and see Jane, she's the behavioural optometrist, not to stereotype, but to subspecialise, I think, is where it's going to head.
A lot of discussion about this at the moment, and my personal opinion is, I think for survival, there'll probably end up being really two paths. Glasses is a big part of optometry, and I think at the moment we've seen that you need to be good at business, and in the current market more than ever you need to be good at business. So I think there'll be practitioners who will basically focus on that. They may even do an MBA postgraduate, they will really, or they may be passionate about business and just decide, I love that side of optometry, and they will focus their whole practice and everything they do on being very good at retail, very good at marketing, and like, they've often been dirty words in optometry in the past, but there's a huge, I suppose, pathway that I think will continue to grow, and it will be competitive and it will be aggressive, but it could also be very rewarding if you're good at what you do. What I'm hoping will develop, which is a parallel pathway, which is sort of, maybe I'm being realistic, but I think with the advent of therapeutics, and the advent of the fact that there's only X number of ophthalmologists coming out, there's a lot more of us, and more is being therapeutically endorsed. There may be in the future for a travel practitioner the role to specialise as basically more a clinical optometrist. Your practice will be more focused, more closely aligned with general practice. It'll be more closely aligned with co-managing your local ophthalmologist. You may have contact with the endocrinologist once a week and say, how are my diabetic patients going? Are you happy with how I'm supporting your endocrinology practice? You may meet with your orthopaedic surgeon. You may meet with this is real change in philosophy, whereby you'll position yourself. You may find that you're not in a retail shop, you'll be in a strip shop, you may be in an old Queensland that's been renovated. And you will have to be very comfortable with charging private fees. A lot of optometrists are not happy with that at the moment. That's why only a few have done that. successfully, I think, at this stage. But I think there'll be a room for more of us to do that, but we're going to have a lot of faith in our own skill set and understand that we'll have to make an income from consulting, and your whole practice has to change. You might employ a typist rather than a dispenser because you'll be dictating 40 letters a day to everyone that's related to that patient's care. You know, you'll be doing 15-minute appointments and double booking on those because you'll have 10 therapeutic reviews from the day before which you're initiated. So there'll be a whole change in focus. Now I think that model potentially could coexist. I think what's probably going to disappear is the everyday family optom practice, we can help everybody. I think I want to that is a niche that's just not going to exist. And doing some business training, that sort of stuff. Really, everyone thinks there's a huge market for the average person. The reality is there's not. There's high end and there's budget. And really, I think optometry in the past has had a lot of us practicing as mum and dad everyday optometry. And I think with the huge, I suppose, influx of international corporate knowledge and very, very clever marketing teams, it's really pushed the budget retailing to be very competitive. And I think to differentiate it to survive and look at more of a boutique, co-management, health-based service. I think those two could run parallel.